People who ignored the "don't try this at home" warning. What did you do? When I was about 10, I folded myself into a sleeper sofa with the help of my cousin. Here's why this is an incredible bad idea. You cannot breathe. You cannot move. You can shout for help, but your cries for help will travel at best 5 feet because your mouth is smothered by a mattress. The spring mechanism in combination with your weight will make it nearly impossible for someone to pull the mattress back out, unless they are very strong or you are very light. My cousin had to run upstairs to get a grown-up to flip the sofa on its side so I could roll out. If I did this stunt while I was by myself, I probably would have suffocated very quickly. Remember lawn darts? My group of friends made our own rules. 2 teams, 1 in the front yard, 1 in the back. 1 member from each team on the side lawn from where you could see both teams at the same time. The goal was to rifle that freaking dart. We only had 1, lost the others in a game of woods darts, over the house, and make a member of the other team, rightfully afraid for their life, move out of the way of the dart. 1 point if you made them move. -1 point if it landed within arm's reach and they didn't move. This game lasted until someone's parents came home and were horrified when they saw what we were doing. The 80s were a simpler, bloodier time. Me and my friend decided to golf off each other when we were around 14. The initial idea was to drive off the tea that was in our mouth, but common sense kicked in and we decided against it. But still wanting to go through with it, we decided to do it, with our butt cheeks. Cringe. I went first as the hitter, and it went way better than I expected. I lined that crap up and drove it as far as I could, while still caring for my friend's buttocks safety. Not a scratch on him, so I was ready to be hit off. I laid down on my stomach and put the tee in place, and my friend lined his shot up once and goes all in for his swing. He follows through and puts the driver right into my butt cheeks, and at that moment it felt like everything I once knew was wrong. And my butt was freaking hurting like heck, but that's besides the point. Listen to the advisory, kids. I mean, at least the tea didn't get smacked into your butthole. My brother and I got the bright idea to see what happens if you put one of the CO2 cartridges used for BB guns into a fireplace. Long story short, the resulting explosion filled most of the main floor of the house with flying chunks of burning wood. Mom was not amused. Split a cucumber by throwing knives at it. Friends and I were putting stuff in the microwave. Eggs not only explode, but they're hot as freaking napalm. Cut a grape almost in half and put it in the microwave. Sweet ozone fumes. I'm from India, and when we were kids, like in late 90s, there was a TV show called Shaktiman who was like Captain America for India. He used to fly and crap. There was a scene where he saved dozens of people who were thrown down from the building by a villain, and he used his super fast speed to save them all. My younger brother jumped from a building and his last words were "Shaktiman Bachao, save me Shaktiman," thinking he will save him and he will get to meet his fav superhero. There have been more than 20 cases like these. I don't feel bad talking about it as it's been far too long. Yay. When I was like 10, I jumped off my 15-foot deck with an umbrella. Yay. Don't try that. Damn it, this one is defective. Decided to make my own fireworks. Apparently potassium nitrate, or stump remover, and sugar mixed together makes for a pretty good smoke bomb. The way you make it is you mix the 2 ingredients together and put it in a pan over a small flame. The heat melts the 2 together into a chocolatey brown goo. If you put that goo into a cardboard toilet paper roll and stick a wick in there, you have a pretty big smoke bomb. The first time I did it, we had a lot of fun smoking out an entire park. Then I decided we needed to go bigger. This is America after all. So I doubled the ingredients and started cooking it on my stove. Stupid me forgot that the video said medium to low heat and I had the burner on high. Halfway through cooking it, the heat caught the mixture on fire and started going crazy. I got my brother out of the house and dumped water on the mixture. For the next 2 hours you couldn't go in my house because the smoke was so thick you couldn't see more than 2 feet in front of you. My parents were crazy mad at first because the ceiling was burned, the countertops charred, and the floor was even melted a bit. Then once they got the insurance money, their attitude changed completely. We now have a brand new kitchen that was way nicer than our last one. I had the great idea to fire some fireworks inside my house. You can try it at home, but I would not recommend it. It was fun though. I was told to not try making small firecrackers at home. I still have all 9 of my fingers, and I had fun too. Built a flamethrower out of spray paint cans. I tried to make a potato launcher out of PVC pipe one summer day. The guy on the YouTube video said not to try it at home without adult supervision, but of course at the ripe age of 15 I wasn't about to let that stop me. So I went to the garage and gathered all of the required materials. My parents probably wouldn't notice a bunch of PVC in their sack of potatoes was missing anyways, and proceeded to build my masterpiece. I figured that just having it shoot straight would be kinda lame, so I decided to pseudo-mod it by cutting a slit into the edge of the PVC cap to act as a sort of scope. Thing is, I forgot to shave off the ends that were stuck on the barrel and proceeded to fire off my first round. I ended up getting potato bits everywhere in my garage and almost cut my arm open on a flying piece of PVC. Remember kids, do not try this at home is a valid warning. Probably every wrestling move on my brothers in 2000-2001 sometimes went wrong and hurting them ex. Powerbomb on wooden edge of the bed. My brother and I made thermite in high school and melted a gamma cube, among other things, with it. I feel like Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman told us not to try that at home at least once. When I was like 10-11 my friends and I used to imitate Jackass, but our show was called Dumbass. I was the biggest one out of all of us so I took the brunt of the damage. One of the dumbest things we did was have me stand on an office chair and another of my friends drop kicked it. I ended up falling face first onto the floor. I wasn't too injured, but it hurt. My friends and I recently used our pool skimmer to have a pole vaulting tournament as seen on a nationwide commercial. The fact that the idea came from an insurance commercial should have been enough to deter us. Ended up vaulting all the way to the far end of the pool and smashed my feet into the wall. Besides my 2 sprained ankles, everyone else was fine. Pool skimmer worked really well as a pole. I tried to rebuild the paper crossbow from Mythbusters along with many other things from this show. Royal Rumble in the back garden. 4-on-4. Fly kick my cousin into the wall, crack his head open, goes to the hospital and gets stitches. Few years later he tried pushing me into the pool, pulled him in with me and his chin caught the edge. More stitches. We don't talk much these days. Put orange juice in a soda stream and tried to carbonate it. It had a warning saying not to do it. I read said warning. I'm usually not the type of person who ignores warnings but this didn't seem like it would be an issue. I thought it was because the carbonator tube would get sticky and clog but I thought that I could clean it. Nope, that's not why. It freaking explodes. I was finding sticky spots for months. I hit a basketball-sized hornet nest with a baseball bat. Much stinging, much pain. You know those Parker videos? I tried doing some of that when I was 12. I jumped from a bench onto a small wall and I landed on my belly. Ugh, that was painful. I couldn't breathe and my thighs hit the edge, so I couldn't walk either. But I looked cool, right? There are entire YouTube videos dedicated to watching kids trying to do parkour and getting their crap wrecked. I sabered a bottle of champagne and it was pretty epic. I was staying at my friend Ben's house, who was a bit of a latchkey kid. The movie Daredevil had just come out, and I was maybe 12. It was 2 in the morning and we were busy skating around the front of his house, annoying the frick out of his neighbors. I got the awesome idea that we should light the skate rail we had on fire, just like in Daredevil. So, I grabbed a can of gasoline that was sitting in his garage, and proceeded to coat the rail with it. After coating the rail with the gasoline, I lit the gas and it was a little lackluster. I figured, let's just throw some more gas on this thing so I did. The gas trickling out of the can caught fire and the can exploded in my hand. Luckily, my reflexes saved my butt and I let go of the can just as the flame hit it. Ben's lawn was completely aflame. I just walked inside and didn't do anything about it because I didn't want to get in trouble. I drank antifreeze on purpose. It's both spicy and sweet at the same time, not in a Chinese food kind of way, in a chemical reaction on your tongue kind of way. It's delicious and if you taste it you'll understand why animals and children will drink it. Not recommended. Not sure there's ever been a don't try this at home warning for this particular thing, but it certainly qualifies as something stupid. Now to set the scene, a bunch of mates and I go camping every year. It's a pretty awesome weekend and we get up to all sorts of stuff. Well this year, In our drunken wisdom, we decided to shake the crap out of a can of beer, bury it and then build the fire pit on top. Don't ask me why, we're freaking idiots or something. So cut to a few hours later, we've all completely forgotten about our little time bomb ticking away, all sat around having a good time when the mother of all explosions takes place. We'd had the campfire down to a bed of coals for cooking, thankfully, so that when the can went off, it only launched dirt, ash and coal around as opposed to what would have happened had we built it up roaring like usual. For about 10 seconds afterwards, felt like a lot longer, I'm sitting on my ass dazed and confused, looking around, ears ringing as ash and dust gently tumbles down into the campsite. Felt like a scene out of a war movie. No one was injured and we all have a pretty awesome story to tell now. Still would not recommend anyone tries it at home, though someone most likely will. I ate toilet paper after watching Strange Addictions because she made it look so delicious. So, I wore a baseball hat a little too much, and had this huge butt-clogged foreskin type thing on my forehead. It looked like a pencil eraser smack dab in the middle of my forehead. Had it for 2 months with no change. I researched online and found that with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a few friends, that I could use wart freeze off and might have some luck with getting it off. I told my doctor and she laughed in my face. She said good luck with that, let me know how it works out. I took that as a challenge, and just to make sure, verified there was no major facial nerves that I might accidentally freeze. In the end, it worked better than I thought. I essentially killed all the cell tissue, and it fell off, and healed up fine. 10/10 would do again. My brother and I would play WWE with some of our friends as kids, and the jackass would never let anyone win. So one day he came after me when I had one of the championships. I forgot to say that he had the other 2 belts, so he and I had a match, and at one point I decided to go for a powerbomb. I couldn't lift him up all the way and dropped him on the air conditioner. Accidentally, he was on the ground, lying in the fetal position in a puddle of water, so I went for the pin, and the bastard puts his arm up. I remember the kids that were doing commentary screaming out of shock. I waited for him to get up and went for a super kick. I missed and he pushed me into the bottom left corner of the window, and that piece broke and I got a cut on my forehead. I wanted to cry so bad but he tackled me into the wall, put me on the bed and did a rock bottom from the bed onto the floor. He pushed me off the goddamn bed. He pinned me, and won my dang cardboard belt. He held all the titles in our little wrestling group at the time, and I still hate him for it. Wow, that sounds more exciting and realer than WWE itself. I was around 3/4 and my sister was 18 mths/2, and after watching Barbie Swan Lake before bed we decided to imitate the scene where Odette jumps the waterfall in the bedroom we shared. Me being the eldest, naturally went first, jumping from our windowsill onto our bedroom floor. I landed it and felt like a boss. Then came baby sister's turn. She broke her leg trying to copy me. Needless to say she can't remember much. I thought myself and my parents have fond memories of her running round the garden with a neon pink cast. She now claims she got her revenge by pushing me off my scooter when I was 8 and she was 6, so I broke both bones in my arm. Unfortunately I can remember that a lot more and spent a holiday abroad in a bright orange cast. I arrived at a party maybe 15 minutes after they put on Beer Fest in the background. This was right after it came off on DVD. I said I'll try to drink with them. People told me don't do that. They literally had a warning saying not to do exactly that. Punched a hole in the wall, woke up my mother from vomiting so loud and crapped my pants. My friend had access to dry ice our sophomore year of college from his research gig. We filled water bottles with dry ice and some water, and capped them, throwing them and watching them blow up in mounds of Buffalo, NY snow. One didn't detonate, so I decided to defuse it, instead of it detonating as some stranger walks by, and it went off in my hand. Miraculously nothing more than a few scrapes on my hand, and 30 minutes of being deaf in my right ear. Back in 2007 me and my friends were really into WWE and we would do matches on his trampoline. Suddenly an argument got heated and my friend's brother backbreaked him on the patio floor. Another time, He had a plastic WWE microphone and I took it with me when I went to pee. Now I was a very scared kid, but really scared kid, and I was deathly afraid of this jigsaw mask from the movie Saw that he had. So I go out of the bathroom to find him at the end of the hallway with the mask on running at me. Now in the WWE, for those who don't know, when two guys are talking on the microphone and an argument heats up, a lot of the times they take a microphone to the face. So there I am, holding the microphone as he comes at me with the microphone, and me remembering the microphone to the face segments. I smack him dead in the face with the heavy butt plastic microphone. He plopped to the floor, and when he takes the mask off he's freaking bleeding all over the place. I was just distraught. Worst of all was hearing him scream and yell at the clinic as they were stitching his head. I was traumatized by that for the following months, but he was really cool about it and he didn't hold anything against me except for our other friends that hated me thinking I did it for the lols. I lost contact with him years ago, but he was a really cool and genuine dude. Moral of the story is, whenever Chris Jericho or John Cena tell you not to try any of that crap at home, you freaking listen to them. Ugh. I cringe whenever I remember this. When I was 12/13, the movie Jackass was really popular and my friends and I would watch it almost daily. We thought they were all so cool and funny for doing stupid crap for the sake of a laugh. Well, we would try to recreate some of the stupid gigs they performed. One day while my mom took my friends and me to the grocery store, my friends convinced me to pull a prank on some dude shopping. I grabbed a huge pack of toilet paper, walked right up behind this dude, and threw the TP at this guy's back. He turned around and screamed at me, a little nerdy 12-year-old girl in glasses, and walked away. I have never been more mortified since then, and from that day on I decided that Jackass was actually really freaking stupid and immature. You have been visited by the hamster of joy. Comment: I like chicken to live a happy and full of joy like the joy hamster life. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.